I'm gonna tell you the most hidden point in growth, where in my experience, many people f up and just fall on their face. Since my priority now shifted, and my main priority is basically my own energy, rhythm, and expansion while having the most fun, this is what I noticed. Hey, I'd rather not do anything if that something doesn't align with me. And I do f up a lot of times because I think there are always gonna be those blind spots, that you can't perceive for yourself. And we can always find something in our own baggage to level up our game in this reality. But that's not the point. So there's the thing. I started attracting literally all I wanted. And so then the weirdest thing started happening in my body. It's like, I started squirming. I don't know, I stepped on worm and I just can't find space to relax into it. Suddenly I just become overwhelmed with all the thoughts, with all the projections, with all the plans, whatever. But this is the point where all your training in mindfulness comes in. Now I can see through all this bull, and the oddness in this period in time is, check this out. First, I see my mind to turn on and just start to race. Then I can recognize this perceived bad emotion, which is actually, it's literally my signal that anything that I'm focusing on right now is just not real, not true. So essentially, I just don't believe what I'm thinking, or even better said, what my mind automatically thinks and projects. And so therefore, rather quickly, I simply lose that train of thought. And some really bizarre, just quietness, emptiness is left in my body, around my body. And I mean, the emotion is still sort of lingering, but I see it more as a density, just like a fluffy thing. And at this point, I still don't feel like, oh yay, goody, I can move on, start thinking about rainbows right now, yay. It's more like this empty space, a kind of hangover feeling without further feeding of it. And I really want to emphasize this not feeding stage, because that fluff, it only sustains and grows further if you sort of feed it. And your mind is actually really great at digging up all the shit from your past to support this lingering emotion. And this is what I mean by feeding it. But this is indeed the very wrong way to use your brain, probably the wrongest there is. And what I found works best in these cases is just something very simple that will bring this leverage on this more positive side. But it's without any pushing. If you push me at this point, I'd probably get angry. So for me, something really simple works. Like, cool, I'm gonna watch some old photos from a sunny trip, or I'll cook something, I organize something random, or just some that I don't really care about. But it's a lighter feeling thing. I will give you an idiot-proof example of this, receiving mode. Probably the easiest example is to watch yourself receiving just a simple compliment. How do you respond? Do you just get shaky and start proving to that person that they are wrong, you're not really worthy of that compliment? Do you? I bet you will never get a compliment from them anytime soon. Bye-bye. So instead, I watch my kids, and it's peculiar. So my little girl is 3 now, and she's still such a natural when she receives something. I mean, a compliment, a gift, whatever. She just goes like, thank you, and just continues minding her own business, just like that. She doesn't make it awkward, Look in that complete opposite in grown-ups right now. I noticed other people now going into this ultra spiritual mode, where they start to retrain their patterns. So somebody goes like, hey, cool shoes, bro, and then be like, oh my god, I appreciate this so much. Oh my god, I'm so grateful. I love everything now. And all in tears. And no. Well, I mean, great. This happens to me as well, maybe not as exaggerated, but I really dig that natural way of receiving. Natural. You know, my girl is so smooth and I'd like to not influence her. And really, most of the time, I think she's a genius. But hey, I think my dog can be a spiritual master better than any of those people out there. So you know, this receiving a compliment is an idiot-proof example that everybody uses to prove their point. But the thing is, when you start to up your game and you start receiving more and more, you know, things that your little brain perceives as something huge, terrifying, it sort of sends the signal to your body to shrink even more. And I see it literally as flexibility training. You don't want to go and sit in splits out of nowhere. That's a really dumb idea. But then you want to warm up, ease yourself in, spend that vulnerable quiet time in this uncomfortable position. You know, just enough to not be in that unbearable pain. And so you test your range bit by bit. Some days you are more flexible, some days you still feel sore after yesterday's training, and you better want to go and chill instead. And that's fine, you're allowed, you know. Yeah, you can tell I like training when I start giving examples like that. And these days, I don't know, maybe I grew up or something, but I'd rather shamelessly take that step back to build more long-term gains. No problem. So in these receiving moments, I'd lean onto my bulletproof belief system. And mine says, whatever feels off is not a true thought worth further thinking.